On this episode of Esto as PGA Tour Latinoamérica, we travel to PGA Riviera Maya for the Bupa Championship presented by VOLVO, the 8th and final event of a 2020-21 season that took 507 days to be completed.
You can't really be too aggressive out here because it's so penal and it's so difficult.
In addition to crowning one last tournament champion, we will meet a new class of PGA Tour Latinoamérica players moving up to the Korn Ferry Tour in 2022.
I'm one of the best players in the world, and I hope to prove that to everybody someday.
Our season-ending show starts now. Esto as PGA Tour Latinoamérica. The 2020-21 PGA Tour Latinoamérica season ultimately became one elongated season, a March 2020 to summer 2021 marathon. It took time and patience to complete an 8-tournament schedule, opening at the Estrella del Mar Open and closing at the Bupa Championship presented by VOLVO. Over the course of the 507-day season, tour officials had to adjust and reconstruct the schedule as the pandemic caused one change after another.
It's just nice to be able to play a full season, even if it is 8 events. So, I mean, you guys have done a great job down here, and we're really thankful to be able to play a season where most people have not had that opportunity.
Played in Mexico for the first time, the season-ending tournament featured a strong field that included 49 of the top 50 players on the points list. A Robert Trent Jones Jr. design, the course at PGA Riviera Maya was a fitting challenge for an event of this stature.
It's going to be a fun week. It's in really good shape, and it's tough, and the greens are good, and it's just it's a good design, and it's going to be a fun week.
Integrating the golf course into the Mayan jungle with natural lakes and cenotes, the par 72 at PGA Riviera Maya gave players little margin for error.
You know, it's definitely penal. If you miss the fairways, you're going to be, dropping or in the jungle.
A tight course playing long in hot and humid weather made it tough on the players in the opening round. With only 16 players managing to shoot under par, Michigan native Ben Cook went on to claim a lead thanks to an impressive 6 under 66 that featured 3 birdies on each 9. The 27-year-old was the only player to go bogey-free, playing 10 strokes better than the field, as the scoring average that first day came at 76.43 strokes. Making it a U.S. trio at the top, Cook finished the day leading by 3 over Mookie DeMoss and Conor Godsey, who is coming off a victory at the Banco del Pacifico Open in Ecuador to enter the week as tour number 2. Rounding out the top 5, there were 5 players tied at 70. Among them, there were 2 top locals in Oscar Frostro, a former PGA Tour member, and Aaron Terrazas, an up-and-coming 24-year-old.
Here, you just have to hit it straight off the tee. Like, it's just paramount to kind of, if you keep it in play and make yourself have a lot of chance for pars and hit a lot of greens, like I only probably missed maybe 2 greens all day, and when I missed, I was in a spot where I could get it up and down. Super thankful to get off to a great start, but day 1 doesn't mean you win it. They got 3 more hard days ahead of me, so just kind of trying to make as many birdies and pars as I can the next couple days.
Prior to the tournament, Argentina's Matías Samaski took advantage of an opportunity to explore the area with his girlfriend, Macarena, by his side. Our tournament hosts at PGA Riviera Maya set up an invitation to have them take a scuba aquatic tour. Riding a buggy across the property, Matías and Macarena ended up swimming at the Actun Chin cenote for an unforgettable experience.
Muy bueno. Muy bueno. Bueno, la verdad que la pasamos increíble en el cenote este, es impresionante este lugar, no se puede decir con palabras cómo se ve debajo del agua, Así que nada, están más que invitados a conocer todo lo que es la Riviera Maya y espero que les haya gustado este recorrido. Así que nada, nosotros vamos a ir disfrutando un poquito más.
On the second day, the PGA Riviera Maya course didn't play any easier. Coming off his opening 66, Ben Cook fought hard to post a 72 that allowed him to keep a 3-shot lead through 36 holes. As the tournament leader, Cook remained in position to jump inside the valuable top 10 on the season-long points race. He would need to win in order to break inside the group of players who would secure a spot in the final stage of the Korn Ferry Tour Q School by the end of the week.
You can't just get complacent and play defense. You still got to try to make some birdies. I mean, everybody here is so good. There's going to be a lot of guys that are going to play well on the weekend. Just be patient in that sense of, hey, par's a really good score, but still got to try to make or capitalize on the holes that are birdie holes.
A teaching pro who turned his third major championship career start into a tie for 44th last May at the PGA Tour Championship, Cook felt ready for a wild weekend at PGA Riviera Maya. With the course playing extremely tough for an average score of 76.47 strokes through 2 days, the cut ballooned to 6 over, the fourth highest cut ever on PGA Tour Latinoamérica.
It was a lot more windy today than it was yesterday, especially that front nine, or at least my front nine on the back. It made it that much harder to hit the fairways when they're already skinny, and then you have to deal with the wind. It makes it really tough.
There were only 4 scores in the 60s during the second round, including a 3-under 69 that took Andrew Alligood into the second spot heading into the weekend. Trailing the leader by 4, following back-to-back 71s, Drew Nesbitt moved into solo third. Coming off a runner-up finish in Ecuador, the Canadian still had a chance to claim PGA Tour Latinoamérica Player of the Year honors. After the break, we will see who walks away with the last tournament trophy of the season at the Bupa Championship presented by VOLVO. And then, we will meet the points list top 5 who will be moving on to the Korn Ferry Tour next year. Esto, as PGA Tour Latinoamérica. Esto, as PGA Tour Latinoamérica. Andrew Alligood's third round at the Bupa Championship was quite unique. It included a quintuple bogey 10 on number 8.
The wind was a little different than the days before on that hole, so I figured I could try to take driver, and it didn't work out very well. I was able to birdie the next hole and play the back nine pretty solid from there. So I did a good job of just kind of putting it behind me, kind of laugh at it and move on.
After his wild 10, Alligood recorded 6 birdies and only 1 bogey. A third round of even par 72 was sufficient for the 24-year-old from Jacksonville, Florida, to surge ahead at the demanding PGA Riviera Maya course.
Yeah, it was a wild day. It was a lot of birdies and a lot of others for all of us. I think the leaderboard changed a good amount.
At 3 under through 3 rounds, Alligood took a 1-shot lead over 36-hole leader Ben Cook, who made 8 fives on the back 9 to shoot 76 and lose grasp of a strong lead. At 2 under for the week, Cook was now tied for second with Canada's Drew Nesbitt. Right behind them, Mexico's Oscar Frostro and Raul Pereda made it into a tie for 4th with Patrick Newcomb and Frenchman Jeremy Gandon.
Aquí, que se descuida, se los llevas con todo y maletas, ¿no? Entonces, yo creo que una muy buena mañana. Me siento muy bien al respecto para mañana y que pase lo que quiera pasar.
With the Robert Trent Jones Jr. designed course playing tough, Patrick Newcomb managed his game quite well to pass the Bupa Championship final exam in overtime.
It was a special week.
I had in my head 10 under. 10 under, you'd probably win by a few. It's kind of what I thought. That was the number I was kind of chasing, but you can't really be too aggressive out here because it's so penal and it's so difficult.
Paired together on that final day, Newcomb and Mexico's Oscar Frostro had a head-to-head battle down the stretch to shoot 68 and finish regulation in a tie for first at 5 under. On the second playoff hole, Newcomb made a 10-footer to save par and saw Frostro miss a 3-footer that would have extended their overtime session.
Oscar played fantastic. You know, it was just a, pretty much match play from then on in to see what was going to happen. And, I hate to see him miss a short one like that because he played so well. And I got a great break and maybe hit one of the best shots of my life.
Newcomb was the only player to shoot par or better all 4 rounds, recording 16 birdies, 9 bogeys, and only 1 double bogey. This was his second career victory on PGA Tour Latinoamerica, following another playoff win at the 2017 Honduras Open, where he defeated Hank Lebiota. With the win, he claimed the 6th place on the final points list standings and secured an exemption into the final stage of the Korn Ferry Tour qualifying tournament later this year. After 9 full seasons, PGA Tour Latinoamerica has promoted over 150 players to the Korn Ferry Tour, allowing the up-and-coming players who compete in Latin America to pursue their PGA Tour dreams. Navigating the challenges brought by the COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 to 21, PGA Tour Latinoamerica was the only one of the 3 PGA Tour international tours to complete a season and graduate a new class to the next level. Featuring the top 5 players through an 8-tournament season, the latest class includes 4 players from the US and 1 from Mexico. A native of St. Petersburg, Florida, Mcguire came into the 2020-21 season ready to take his game to another level. The extended season was his 3rd full season as a PGA Tour Latinoamerica player, and he made the most of it.
It's been a very long year. Feels like it was a year ago that I won in Doral, and even longer than when we started in Estrella Del Mar. So having it come to an end and being in the top 5, it's been a really good year.
The 28-year-old University of North Florida alum made the cut in all 8 of his starts, recording a victory and 2 other top 10s to finish 5th on the final points list standings.
My dad was there to be able to watch me win my first big professional event and put me into a really good spot.
His 2-shot victory at the 2020 Shell Open at Trump National Doral's Golden Palm course was by far the highlight of his consistent season.
I didn't know at the time that how important it is to win, to get a lot of points, and so that was huge to get that win.
Over the course of the past 4 years, the young man who made his PGA Tour Latinoamerica debut at the 2017 Peru Open had a steady climb, having had a couple runner-up finishes at the Puerto Plata Open and the Abierto del Centro in 2018. Mcguire went on to claim his first tour win while making his 34th career start at the 2020 Shell Open. Overall, he leaves PGA Tour Latinoamerica with a record of 1 victory and 11 top 10s in 40 starts.
Yeah, playing on Latin America Tour has been, a big wake-up call to how deep the professional golf actually is. This tour has really allowed me to get better, and that's all you want to do at the end of the day is just try and improve.
Mcguire is already familiar with the Korn Ferry Tour, where he's made 4 career starts. The most exciting part about moving on to the next level is joining his younger brother Jack, who has been a Korn Ferry Tour member for the past 4 seasons.
If I play my best, I think I can compete, and I'm excited to get out there and really test my game.
Coming into his 2nd season as a pro, Alvaro Ortiz was the Latin American player to watch during his debut season on PGA Tour Latinoamerica. The Guadalajara, Mexico native went on to finish the season-long race ranked 4th on the points list standings. His first professional victory at the Mexico Open was definitely a moment to treasure.
El ganar el abierto de mi país Creo que fue una sensación muy bonita.
With his younger brother Alejandro as his caddy and his parents also on site, Ortiz made it to the 61st Mexico Open with a mission, and he accomplished it. A closing 63 that featured 4 birdies and an eagle on the back 9 allowed him to come from behind and win by 3 shots.
Ir perdiendo por 5, faltando 18 y hacerlo de esa manera, pues fue algo muy especial.
The 25-year-old University of Arkansas alum became the first Mexican player to win the Mexico Open since 2016, when Sebastian Vasquez defeated Augusto Núñez of Argentina in a playoff to claim the trophy in Aguas Calientes. In addition to his National Open victory, Ortiz also had a runner-up finish at the season opening Estrella del Mar Open.
Mi meta número 1 del Korn Ferry es quedar como número 1 en la orden de mérito y de ahí para adelante, ¿no?
Ortiz has made 4 career starts on the Korn Ferry Tour, including 2 during the course of the 2020-21 season. He is quite familiar with the road ahead, as his brother Carlos earned Korn Ferry Tour Player of the Year honors while following the path that turned him into a PGA Tour champion last year.
He aprendido mucho de ver a mi hermano cómo ha hecho sus temporadas y estoy pues emocionado de ya casi estar ahí con él, ¿no?
When we come back, the race to the top of the PGA Tour Latino America points list continues as we meet the other 4 players who secured 2022 Korn Ferry Tour status following their stellar season across Latin America. Esto as PGA Tour Latino America. Esto as PGA Tour Latino America. The season that took 16 months to be completed got off to a slow start for Conor Godsey. The 29-year-old missed the cut at the first 2 events before putting together 4 top 6 finishes in 4 of his next 5 starts. With the schedule so spread out, the Rogersville, Alabama native found a way to get some good rhythm when things mattered the most.
I was lucky to live in Jacksonville where a lot of other golfers live. So we were able to play together, stay somewhat competitive. I mean, it's not the same as playing in tournaments, but just to play against my friends and have little matches with them helped just to stay competitive.
Godsey's hot streak to end the PGA Tour Latino America season had its peak in the altitude of Quito, Ecuador, where he came from behind to win the Banco del Pacifico Open in a playoff.
Just knowing how things work and just like knowing like what type of routine to have and playing some of the same golf courses, all that will definitely help.
His other 3 top 10s were a couple of 3rd place finishes at the Puerto Plata Open and the Club at Weston Hills Open, and then a 6th place finish at the Mexico Open. Godsey played 2 PGA Tour Latino America seasons before making it back to the next level.
PGA Tour Latino America is incredibly competitive and we play good courses. I think it's great to move up to the next level, just getting the experience of competing on all types of different courses.
For Connors, this will be a much-awaited return to the Korn Ferry Tour. He has already made 27 career starts at the next level, including 23 in 2018 when he made 15 cuts and finished right outside the top 100. He feels ready to take the next step in a professional career he started in 2014. An Oklahoma State University product, Sam Stevens was probably the most consistent player on the PGA Tour Latino America. The 25-year-old finished inside the top 12 in 6 of his 7 starts, missing the cut only once. At some point, he managed to put together a streak of 10 consecutive rounds in the 60s, on his way to finishing 2nd on the final points list standings.
I've just been playing really well, the last 2 years really now. It's been a long season and we haven't had a ton of events, but to be able to just play well in pretty much every event and just be very consistent, it's great and it's really encouraging.
Halfway through June, at the Club at Weston Hills Open, Stevens had 4 rounds in the 60s, making only 1 bogey to finish just 1 shot behind the tournament winner, Brandon Matthews. But he kept the pedal down the following week for a one-shot win of his own at the wholesome Colombia Classic presented by VOLVO in Colombia.
Winning in Colombia was great. That's something I'll remember for a long time. It was a really cool course. Lots of people came out to watch to get the job done in Colombia. It was a really cool experience.
The consistent Stevens played 2 full seasons on PGA Tour Latino America, making the cut in 15 of his 22 starts while recording 5 top 10s. This past season, he gave Brandon Matthews a run for his money at the top of the points list. Ultimately, he came up short, finishing only 124 points behind.
The courses that we play and the competition in PGA Tour Latino America is pretty high, and it's definitely helped me, recognize what I need to get better at.
As a strong number 2, he will definitely be a player to watch on the Korn Ferry Tour in 2022. Coming off a tough 2019 season on the Korn Ferry Tour, where he made only 4 cuts in 21 starts, Matthews traveled to Argentina to tie for 5th at the Neuquén Argentina Classic and finish 2nd at the Visa Argentina Open, where he caught the golf world's attention when he gracefully embraced a fan with Down syndrome who distracted him while he was trying to make an 8-foot birdie putt to extend a playoff he lost to Colombia's Ricardo Celia.
I wouldn't have been able to get here if it wasn't for the way I finished 2019 out.
That trip to Argentina at the end of 2019 was a turning point for the Temple University alum, who came back to PGA Tour Latino America ready to leave his mark in 2020.
And obviously this year has been great. Won twice and played some really good golf. I'm very thankful for the officials and everybody who runs this tour to give us the opportunity to play. I believe we're the only international tour to finish a full season.
The 27-year-old from DuPont, Pennsylvania, was the only player to win twice over the course of the 2020-21 season, with victories at the Puerto Plata Open in the Dominican Republic and at the Club at Weston Hills Open in Weston, Florida. Last December at Playa Dorada Golf Course in Puerto Plata, Matthews had a dominating weekend for a 5-shot victory over his countryman, Jacob Bergeron. In Weston this past June, things went down to the wire as he secured a 1-shot win by recording a birdie at the 72nd hole, finishing just ahead of fellow American Sam Stevens. For Matthews, this was a dream return to a tour he first joined in 2017, when he won the Molino Cañuelas Championship in Argentina as a 22-year-old before moving up to the Korn Ferry Tour in 2018.
There's really no turning back from where I'm at right now and the way I'm playing. I feel like the next few years are going to be really fun.
This time around, he leaves PGA Tour Latino America as the Player of the Year, which means he has secured full status on the 2022 Korn Ferry Tour. He is eager to start the next season and confident about his chances of having an impact on the road that leads to the PGA Tour.
I truly believe that I'm one of the best players in the world, and I hope to prove that to everybody someday.
Next time on Esto as PGA Tour Latino America, setting things up for its 10th season, PGA Tour Latino America reveals its plans to play 4 qualifying tournaments. We will let you know when and where. Speaking of next season, the race for the Total Play Cup is coming to PGA Tour Latino America. We will learn all about the new season-long competition that will further enhance the development of golf in the region. In a new installment of Golf 101, U.S. player Petey Borja will give us a tip to improve our grip when putting. All this and more next month on Esto as PGA Tour Latino America.